Hi there everyone, we're taking a look at 5 reasons I wish I could but can't accept Christianity. And today we're thinking about, I wish I could but I can't accept Christianity because of what the Bible has to say about judgment. Judgment. Now this is, again, a very difficult, complex and emotive subject for all sorts of reasons. And this video is hopelessly short to deal with this subject. But let me say a few things on the subject of judgment. I want you to imagine a picture that many of us will have seen throughout our lives at various points on our screens and on the internet and so on. Imagine one of those pictures of the Holocaust victims, the Jews lined up behind the barbed wire fences as they had been liberated. Now, what needed to happen in order for them to be liberated, to be rescued? Well, in order for them to be liberated, the Nazi regime had to be brought to an end. That whole thing had to be brought down. In a sense, there had to be a judgment in order for there to be liberation. And that's how it is in the Bible. The Bible brings both of those things together and says we can't have liberation, we can't have final bliss without a final judgment. We can't have a heaven without a hell. We can't have final bliss without final judgment. Now, we kind of know this from the stories, great stories of our culture. Think of the Lord of the Rings and Narnia and all of those things. Consistently throughout the stories that we tell, evil must be judged, enemies must be destroyed, the ring must be destroyed, and then the feasting, then the peace, then the laughter. Peace comes after the last battle. Now, in our lives, in our day-to-day lives, we do cry out for justice. We cry out and say, it's not fair. What's happened is it's not fair, it's not right. We often do that. But we are also Westerners. And I don't want to diminish our experiences of injustice in our own personal lives and here in the West. But we are Westerners. We are culturally located in a rather comfortable, stable, relatively democratic, well-supplied, legally governed West. And so we can be a little bit squeamish about the whole idea of judgment. But there are many people around the world who are not squeamish about the idea of justice and judgment at all. Why is that? Because day after day, they constantly face injustice after injustice after injustice. And so they're less squeamish about the idea of justice and the judgment that's needed to bring that about. Now, the idea of final judgment has given fuel, wonderfully, to the many non-violent, non-vengeful movements that have sought a measure of justice in the present day. What do I mean by that? Well, think of the civil rights movement. Think of Martin Luther King. They believed in a final judgment to come. And because they believed in that, they were freed up to pursue a measure of justice now, and to do that in a peaceful and non-vengeful way. That future judgment, that final judgment, spared them on, knowing that that was coming, to pursue a measure of justice in the present day in a peaceful and non-vengeful way. Now, we have all committed crimes that deserve judgment. That's the plain teaching of the Bible. We all deserve judgment. We've all got stuff wrong. We've all wronged other people. And we've all done things against the God who made us. But wonderfully, there is a liberation. There is a way to be rescued. God has made a way for us to be forgiven through Jesus, saved by his actions alone. And therefore taken one day to a place where there is no more evil. Where there is no more sadness, no more racism, no more pain, no more grief, no more tears, no more war, no more injustice. A place where every chapter is better than the one before.